What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Halftime Snacks podcast. This show features short interviews that you can listen during the halftime of your favorite sports events. Every Tuesday, I host fun conversations with talented people in the sports industry where we'll learn from their stories, knowledge, and experiences. So go grab your favorite snack and come snack with us. Are you ready? Let's go! I'm excited to introduce and welcome our next guest to the Halftime Snacks. Joining us from Barcelona in Spain is a behavioral science legend and an enthusiastic sports tech entrepreneur. He's the CEO of Cognia, a sports intelligence platform that conducts in-depth tactical analysis of football games through deep learning and AI technology for teams, leagues, and coaches. Amongst their investors, they're getting support from the legendary football icons Xavi Hernandez and Iker Casillas. At Cognia, they are disrupting the industry with their all-in-one approach to modern-day analytics by simplifying in-depth strategies efficiently and timely. I'm excited to have the chance to learn from him. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Maurici, Lopez-Felip.
Good afternoon from Barcelona. How are you, Ronan? Happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Man, I'm super happy that you were able to make it to our interview. I always kick it off with a fun icebreaker, so this is mine for you. Who is your second favorite soccer player of all time?
The second one, oh man. Uh, that was a hard one, but I have it clear. My second favorite football player of all times is Luis Figo. I'm laughing because it's a little bit controversial because it's a player that used to play for FC Barcelona, but then he moved to Real Madrid. But man, I can't deny that he's one of the best players I've ever seen.
That's amazing, man. Who's the first one?
First one for me, it's definitely Xavi Hernandez. I mean, I like the playing style of Xavi and the way that he was making things very easy. So
Yeah. He's amazing. I'm sure he's also a great player helping you guys with Cogna, but we'll get to that a bit later, man.
yeah.
I'm happy to have you on the show, man. The goals of today's episode is really mostly to understand more about behavior and decision-making process of football coaches, learn about the automated analysis that you guys been developing, discuss a little bit about innovation in sports, and man, more importantly, have lots of fun. So let's start off with maybe a quick story, and I want to know exactly like when did you first develop a passion for tactical analysis and automation in sports, particularly in football? Is there any story that you wanna share with us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to be short, but for sure there's a story behind it. I mean, look, since very early in my life, football or let's go by soccer if you want, it's been my passion. I mean, indeed, the first memory I remember from the time in which I was a kid, it was celebrating Ronald Koeman's goal that gave the first Champions League to FC Barcelona, and that was back in 1992. I was 5 at that time, and from there, soccer has been the engine of my life. I was so convinced that I would become a professional player once. Uh, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. I mean, I was very close. I made it to the Catalan national team under 16, under 17. I got to play together with big names nowadays like Cesc Fabregas or Gerard Piqué, and so many others that are now playing professional. But I couldn't make it for several reasons. But in any case, what this gave me, or what it made me realize during those years in which I played soccer is that among different factors like physical capabilities, family, or even context support, is that comprehension of the game above everything else. It's key. Tactical knowledge of the game. It's key. And I understood that, I realized that the understanding of the game somehow flowing naturally with the dynamics of the game is crucial because along many hours in which I've played football, I've trained football, I've coached football, I have seen amazing players, right? Players that had the capacity to accelerate faster than anyone with the ball in their feet, players that dribble the ball forward, backwards, juggling, players that did amazing things, right? But when it came the real moment to use those capacities in a coordinated manner with the demands of the surrounding environment, man, most of these players had had some problems in making the right decisions or and the subsequent actions, right? So even though they successfully managed to overcome that situation because of their physical capacities or technical skills, and they didn't compromise too much the team, but still they didn't take always the best decisions, right? And this is something that nowadays you can still see with some players that make it to the first team of top professional clubs, even. And you can tell that some players still have certain difficulties in comprehending the game in a way that they solve every single situation from a tactical perspective rather than supporting themselves in their physical or technical skills. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I think an innovative solution like Cognia and the one that we bring with our software can have a huge impact in players' career. And well, we have contrasted that with players and professional players. So
It sounds like you would make a really great coach. I mean, probably was that the idea, like at the beginning, like you trying to really become a coach and try to spread this idea around, or from the start you knew that this was something that you can do through technology and then apply it or combine them together?
well, I mean, look. Neither of those, but the essence comes from that. I mean, you're right. Look, when I was finishing my bachelor's degree in sports science, I was so fortunate to start working with Joan Vila, a person who is very well recognized in the football industry. At that time, he was offering a consultancy service to professional players to improve tactical performance, and I was the guy running video analysis and generating tactical content for him based on a library of tactical fundamentals that he himself had developed over his career. And that includes around 230 tactics that nowadays we include those in the software. And the beginning of everything, it's here, right? It made me thought going through that process of having to generate every single tactical aspect of the game and generate video clips and edit them and look for those tactics in a very specific moments of the game. It's time consuming. It's an effort that not only takes time but energy, and I thought, somehow we have to bring this process in an automated way. And look, we have an amazing opportunity here because this knowledge has been contrasted with professional players. I mean, Joan Vilá, for those who may not know, he was a professional player that made his debut next to Johan Cruyff a long time ago in the first team of FC Barcelona when Rinus Michels was a coach. And he was also deeply involved in the coaching scene, being many years in youth teams of professional clubs, influencing players and like Carlos Puyol, Andrés Iniesta, or even Xavi Hernandez. And for example, Xavi, one could say that is the maximum exponent of Joan Vila's knowledge about the game. Xavi is a player that is not the strongest one, is not the fastest one, but he's the cleverest. He was always perceiving and consequently acting accordingly to the dynamics of the game, taking the time that it was needed to pass the ball, occupying the spaces and releasing the ball in the right moments. And it was Xavi even himself that the day that he was leaving FCB, he expressed his gratitude to Joan Villar, recognizing publicly that all the offensive and defensive tactical knowledge that Joan had transferred to him somehow allowed Xavi himself to be that player that we all know. And And these are the concepts that somehow I'm like 10 years ago, I was generating for Joan Vila to transfer to particular players. And this type of concepts are, for example, tactical aspects that refer to, let's say you are a center back, things like when to leave the defensive line or not to leave it, or when there is a lateral ball, how you need to position on the field relative to that ball, relative to the defenders in the same line, or relative even to the attacking players. Or if you are a midfielder, how you position to receive balls in between the lines, or how, if you are an attacker, how you move behind the defensive line to take advantage of certain opportunities, stuff like that. Um, it's true that these tactical fundamentals come from someone who's got a lot of knowledge in football. He's been exposed so many years in coaching football, in studying it. And one of the things that it's very important to acknowledge is that these tactical aspects are generic, are somehow objective, right? They are not dependent on a playing style or a particular formation of the game. Actually, any type of concept, like for example defensive line imbalance, it happens whether you play on a 3-4-3, in a 4-4-2, or 5-2, for whatever formation, right? So what Cognia captures on all these fundamentals, the essence of it is to capture physical relationships that they take some meaning by virtue of happening in a football field, but they can happen in any type of formation. And again, working on that is when I realized that somehow there had to be a way to automatize this process that I was doing, having, you don't know, the pain in the neck that it's to go through a whole match for one player, identifying all the tactical aspects that he's doing in every single moment, to provide feedback to him. But that player needs that in order to improve. Otherwise, how he's going to improve? Running faster? No. Weighting more, lifting up more weight? No. He's going to improve if you tell him, look, when the environment is like that, you have two options to avoid danger for your team. Either you leave the space or you occupy it, but take into consideration this thing and this other thing. And basically this is the story, right? So I thought, look, we need to automatize this, and if we get to do that somehow, to make it automatic, the detection of these tactics, man, we could scale up this business model, and rather than advising professional players only in a face-to-face fashion, we could do it all over the place, at different group ages, at different playing levels. And this is the story behind Cognia. This is how it came to happen.
Man, it's incredible to really hear you speak about it with such passion, and it seems like you really deconstructed, decoded the mindset, like, or the mind uh, capability of a player. Really, not necessarily his physical. It's more about what's inside his mind and the way he's able to think about the game, and he's able to react to things that happen. It's super fascinating. And Maurici, you also have some experience, or some background in behavioral science. So I want to just touch a little bit on that point, and I want to ask you if there's any classical, behavioral mistakes that you've seen coaches or players do, that you learned through Cognia and through really doing all this tactical analysis through all these years. Things that you've seen that coaches thought was right, and they're really just behavioral biases, or things that it can be easy to be fooled by, or to be just fooled at the moment of the game. Is there anything that you can share with us in terms of like a couple of behavioral mistakes?
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, calling it behavioral, maybe it's too big. I wouldn't highlight on behavioral mistakes, but indeed, for example, what I've realized is that with Cognia, Cognia is opening a new domain of information. I think we are opening a new era of information. We are opening the door towards the tactics and the generation of tactics in an automated way. And what it helps a software like ours is that so far technical staffs, what they were doing is basically after the match, they were concerned in generating information about the game and information that helped them to improve those particular aspects of the team or at the individual level that allowed them to quickly correct a few things, but doing it very quickly and very generic, because sometimes when you are in the elite competing on top professional leagues or competitions, you have 3 days maximum sometimes to prepare a game, or five, right? And you don't have a lot of time. With a tool like Cognia, what I'm seeing in coaches like Xavi or technical staff of Unai Emery, for example, is that after the match, they already have a substantial amount of information about the tactical aspects of the game. So, for example, every time that we've lost a ball, right, how we were positioned relative to the ball, and which type of fundamental was performing the striker. Was he positioning himself behind the back of the center back, or was he in between lines, right? Stuff like that are aspects that we are already generated, and that by virtue of some advanced filtering options through the software, the users can do quick search. And that's actually helping them a lot in terms of that. So now, instead of having to generate information yourself, now you already have the information, and you can transmit or make sure that this information gets to the real characters of the whole movie, which are the players, right? And that's why I said that I don't think that's a behavioral mistake. It's just something that it's opening up an opportunity by virtue of having this improved technology. And I think we will get to see these every time more as solutions like the one we're offering are being present in the clubs.
And do you think there's any part of the coaching job that, I mean, you kind of like did for them that, besides this like time saving element of it, had like a specific, advantage, or something that, or some feedback that they told you, these obvious these other coaches told you that, it was some very big advantage of Cognia that you didn't expect that, or that it really impressed you the most? Was there any other advantages, obviously, next to the ones that they are already there, which are, very, very clear?
Yeah. Of course. So look, comments like, for example, the fact that our software, for example, not only detects the tactics on the game, but it also has an automatic illustration techniques. So it draws the tactic on the video. That helps a lot coaches to gain objectivity of what it's being detected as one type of fundamental tactic or not, right? And if you apply this software across different games, or even across different teams within the same club, that's very helpful, right? Because it detects always the same sort of tactic with the same objectivity, and you can study this type of behavior or monitor this type of tactical situations across different group ages, different teams. And obviously here is when some of the clubs that look at Cognia not only to be implemented for the first team and for the pro teams, but also to be implementing this software across their whole academy. What they highlight is this is a platform in which we now can embed our football methodology, because it allows us to monitor these tactical aspects in a reliable way, in an objective way, and we know that that concept means that concept across all teams in our club. And obviously the ability to generate video and process the video in an automatic way and highlight, put the focus on the right relationships that have some meaning on in terms of tactics for them. It's key, it's crucial, right? So these are type of aspects that yes, we've received some feedback from that, and obviously apart from the obvious of saving a lot of time and having the possibility to make better decisions based on that. Yeah, one of the one of the anecdotes that when presenting the software with some of the coaches, you can really tell which are the coaches, for example, that are passionate or as passionate as you in terms of analyzing the game, and that they have gotten their hands dirty in analyzing, right? Because when they see a software like ours, like Cognia, a software that detects tactics and that the feedback that it gives is in the language of coaches, right? It's our software. It leverages artificial intelligence in a way that it doesn't give you numbers. It doesn't give you statistics. Of course, we could do it because we generate the data, right? But what it gives you is feedback in the language of coaches, and these coaches, really professional coaches, the ones that really have been in the model of video analysis, they ask you, first thing they ask you is, who the heck came up with this idea? And this, to me, this is the one of the most satisfying reactions that I've encountered, because it's like, I wish I had this idea, because that's cool, right? And well, this beyond the particular advantages, this is one of the reactions that it's very satisfying.
Let's talk about innovation. As something that is really popular nowadays. Do you think that teams, coaches, leagues, players can still avoid innovative platforms like Cognias, or do you think they can still figure it out on their own? And if you think they can still figure it out on their own, I wonder how long do you think it will take for this answer to really become a no, and that everyone, like with no exception, is going to need a platform such as Cognia for developing solutions and being really on top of the game and staying, staying with the most or the best technology available to compete at the highest level. So what are your thoughts around that?
So let me actually answer the question by separating the question in two parts, right? One is whether they can avoid using technological solutions like ours, and whether they won't. Okay, that makes the difference here. So can they avoid using technological solutions like Cognia? My answer to that, in a humble way but consistent way, is definitely not. I mean, look, this is an extremely competitive world. You cannot allow your competition to get any advantage without exploring it yourself. I mean, as the possibilities increase and the platforms like ours get more and more advanced, the advantages are only more and more obvious, right? So the longer the clubs resist to these changes, the more they will be left behind. And this is one side of the coin, right? Because as you were pointing somehow in your elaboration of the question, then there are these other clubs that are very innovative, and they find innovation everywhere, and they sometimes they want to do it on their own and build up from their own, from an in-house approach, and we are realizing about that, and it's true that these type of clubs or institutions are becoming more open to innovation. But when they realize this, what we see is that the first instinct of some of these clubs is to start this process in house, and they start hiring some profiles like data scientists, AI, machine learning engineers, whatever, right? And to me, this is a mistake. It's a mistake because the technology is advancing so quickly, and everyone underestimates what is needed from a technology point of view, right? Um, what happens is that the in-house staff becomes overwhelmed with all the short-term concerns of preparing for the next opponent and managing the week, that it's impossible to develop any long-term program to increase innovation. And instead, with Cognia's expertise, for example, clubs have a company that has been developing or building for years all these pipelines. We've made all of them trustable, reliable. We've optimized and speed up all the processes. And furthermore, we provide insights on it, right? So if each club needs to develop something like this, rather than leveraging all the infrastructure that already provides insights about the game and take advantage from it by improving performance, it will be a very time and money consuming effort. So there are these two sides, right? Ones that are reticent and ones that are very innovative and underestimate a little bit the the difficulties in developing certain technological processes. So how long? I, I don't know how long it will take until the reticent ones stop being reticent, and the ones that are very pro innovation will start taking and relying more on this type of technologies. But it will be an evidence as soon as technologies like ours start spreading around, and everyone will see the benefits.
Yeah, and I wanna ask you on that. What is the plan or the strategy that you have in your mind to scale Cognia to the whole world and to really serve every athlete and every team, coach, and play and league from the top divisions to really grassroots and classic community sports?
Yeah, I mean, our first idea strategically is to become a company that is well recognized because of the know-how that we incorporate in our technologies. Um, for sure, there are technological solutions out there that can do many of the technological processes that we do, but the difference in Cognia is that we do have a tactical knowledge that it's unique in the sense that nobody else has this know-how, and we have it in a way that all our technology, all our pipelines have been developed in a way that they are structured and built to satisfy this final ultimate goal that we have, which is automating tactical analysis of the game. So we want to be recognized worldwide around the tactical analysis, automatic tactical analysis. Obviously, this happens or this is crucial to make it happen in professional football first. But obviously, we have built a technology that it works not only for professional clubs, it works in any football game of any age, of any type of level. So the same technology that we can apply when a team like the Poland national team when they play, we are. This is one of Paulo Sousa is one of the technical staffs and coach that relies on Cognia, for example. Any national team can use it in the same way that any grassroots team from your hometown could use it. So, of course, our idea is to spread around and grow and on the professional market or segment, but also we are aware of this long tail volume market opportunity, which definitely we have the technological solution or structure to satisfy it as well.
Well, I'm really looking forward, Maurici, to see that, to see it in every field and grassroots place and game all around the world. Really looking forward. I'm sure the platform is super robust, and you have really the edge on, as you mentioned, tactical analysis and being one of the most efficient platforms that can combine all the factors together, man, and that's fascinating. Man, time has gone so fast. We've been learning so much about you and about your story and your development of Cognia that I really can't leave without asking you a more maybe personal question, Maurici, and that is, man, what is one habit that you've been adapting into your lifestyle recently that you can share with us, and why you're adapting this new habit to you and your lifestyle?
Sure. This is funny because it's one habit that I took while doing my PhD at the University of Connecticut. I had a professor, Dr. Michael Turby, who was very demanding with his students, and even though he treated us very well, and every Friday he would invite us at his home to drink some beers and talk about science, he was always at the end of the night telling us, young men, work hard and make discoveries. And that means that every day, it doesn't matter what happens, you need to work, even if it's just a little, but in order to make one step forward. And this is a philosophy, a habit that I've wanted to implement in Cognia. And every day or every meeting that I've got with my team, when we conclude the meeting, I always say the magic words of, okay, team, for this week, for this milestone, for this achievement we need to get, please let's work hard and make progress. And this is something that I apply every day in my life, and that's the habit I think had to share.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Maurici, where can people really learn more about Cognia if they want to learn more, or they may be interested about the platform? Where should they find you? What channel should they use?
Yeah, they can look for information in our website, cogniasports.com. We have also Instagram and Twitter, and obviously they can get in touch directly through the website, or even to reach out with me, and we'll be happy to get back to them.
Amazing, Maurici. Well, man, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come to the Halftime Snacks and discuss with me everything between behavior and decision making process of football coaches and players, the value of automated analysis, innovation in sports. Man, it was so much fun to really host you and listen from you and your insight and your passion about football, man. I appreciate it. I hope we can do this again in the future, man, but for now, thank you so much for coming to the Halftime Snacks. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you enjoy learning about the business and technology behind sports, make sure you subscribe to the Sports Tech Biz newsletter. I'll leave the link in the show notes. See you all next week. Bye-bye.